Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Sudhanshu Sir Classes. In today's video, I shall be talking about the Elizabethan theatre itself. So let's get started. So before studying any drama, first of all we should know about the place where the plays were usually performed. And for your surprise, in the very beginning of the Elizabethan age, the dramas were not performed at a place called theatre. Rather, they were performed in the yards. In the yards, there were you can say a stage, a platform that is usually built in order to perform the you can say plays, and there were people who stands all around the stage, and there were some sitting arrangements done in the balconies, but specifically for those who were from the elite class, those who can afford to pay more for the tickets. So the Elizabethan theatre found its home first of all in the yard of the inns, and these inns were most frequently built in the form of a quadrangle surrounding an open court. And one important thing, the roof of the theatres were open to the sky. And whenever a play was to be performed, a platform was to serve as stage was built out in the yard. And in the galleries or the balconies around about, the spectators of better class would sit. Okay, so only limited amount of people were able to sit, others stand around the stage. And near the people who would stand, those who were admitted for the cheapest fee, and the people who stand near to the platform, they were made a part of the play. Okay, some coarse joked were mostly cracked to them. One reference is of a Shakespeare famous play Hamlet, where there is a reference to the groundlings. Okay, and it say who for the most part is capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. So you can see the people who are closest to the stage, they are part of actual performance of the play. Some coarse jokes are mostly cracked on them, and there was no covering of the yard. So if it rains, definitely there was a sprinkling of water over those who stand near the platform. Okay, and those who are sitting in the balconies, they may get saved. And wise, and one more important thing, that from in, till 1575 there was no official theater that was opened in England. So it was in the 1576 the first proper theater called the theater was built by a person called James Burbage, and it was outside the city limit. And in 1577 another theater was opened called the Curtain. After Curtain opened another theater called the Rose. It was constructed by Philip Henslow in the year 1587, and for the first time in 1596 an indoor private theater was opened by a person called James Burbage. And one important point is most of the theaters were built outside the area, outside the jurisdiction of the city, because the authorities were not giving them an approval of opening a theater, because they categorize them as nuance. They fear that it could trigger a fire, it could trigger a plague, they could promote sedition among the people. So that's why they never allow a theater to open. And we are talking about that period that is famous for its theater, that is famous for its play. So the Puritans who control the council had their reasons. They accused the characters, they accused the players, they accused the actors of promoting immorality. So the public theater were built outside the city, the private theaters were allowed to open within the city. And the chief difference between them is that the private theater were enclosed theater, they were closed theaters rather than open to sky. And their audience was also very limited, because only few amount of people were you can say were able to come to see the performances, because their prices were high. And that is the reason that there was a strict control of the you can say officials over the performances of these of these plays. So this is the major difference between a public and a private theater. Now let's talk about the actors, the company of actors who were responsible for playing the roles, who were responsible for playing the drama. So it is one of the irony in history that English drama was its best, and great actors like Edward Allen, who plays Marlowe's character, Richard Burbage, who plays Shakespeare's character, Condell, and many other. They were some of the prominent actors, but still, at that point of time, acting was still not considered as a profession, as a trade. And there was an act of 1545 that says an actor could be arrested, prosecuted on the charge of vagabondage. Okay, so city council controlled by the Puritans was very much hostile to actors, and there was a danger of arrest, a danger of putting a label on sedition on them. So actors, what they prefer, they prefer to align themselves. They came in patronage of some noblemen, huh? They were looking for the patronage, and that's make them the servant of the noblesmen, so that they could be protected against the law by these noblemen. So that is the reason that one can say that the actors were not free to perform according to their will. Huh? They were looking for the patronage by the noble servant. So as a result, what happened, that the Elizabethan and the Jacobean era theater have names in relation to the patrons to which they were attached to. For an example, we have a playing acting company called Lord Chamberlain Men, huh? And it is famously associated with William Shakespeare. Later, when after the death of Queen Elizabeth, King James came, it changed its name to the King as His Majesty's servant. So one can say Shakespeare, for example, wrote for Lord Chamberlain men who became king's men when James I became the king of England. So the connection between the actors, between the company and the patron is clear from the name itself. Okay, and there is a deep association between the two. Whenever the you can say whenever a nobleman needs the service of an acting company, he could call them for the patronage, and in return they give them the security, uh, and they defend them, they provide them the security against the state law. So there is a give and take relationship between the actors and the lords, but there is no exchange of any kind of money or of profit. Okay, I hope everything is clear. It is a very important topic for all of you. Thank you for watching my video.